YouTube family, today we're going to answer the question if you should go to trucking school or not.
Perfect.
Little disclaimer before this video starts. This video is only relevant until February 6th of 2022. If you watch this video after February 6th of 2022, it will no longer be relevant. And that is due to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration administering a new law or implementing a new law. The law will take effect on 7th of February 2022 and is geared towards entry-level drivers or new drivers within the industry. So if you're watching this video right now while it's still current, please go ahead and share this video to someone who may benefit by watching it. So we're going to jump into it. Should you go to trucking school to obtain your CDL or not? And my opinion on this before we start stems from my experience with CDL school, and it is simply my opinion. Take my advice, don't take my advice, but I'm just here offering a little bit of food for thought, before you go out there and actually spend your money. And to answer that question, should you go to trucking school or not, I would say both yes and no. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why I said yes. All right, so I will say yes, go to trucking school for anyone who can afford to go to trucking school, because trucking school is very expensive. It can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000, so it is relatively high, and if you have the funds, go ahead and do it, because you may be able to get that one-on-one experience that you need, that mentorship, and you may be able to get some of that behind the wheel time that you need in order to obtain your CDL and know how to effectively operate that truck, as well as get some practice with backing and driving through the city. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons. My number two reason would be if you don't have a family member or friend willing to show you or take you under their wing and just kind of guide you through what it is that a trucker does, how to operate that truck safely, and give you some basic knowledge of truck functions, be able to do a pre-trip, post-trip inspection, and just help you to be able to pass like the general knowledge portion at the DMV. I would say yes, go ahead and go to trucking school. But those are probably the only two reasons that I would recommend or suggest anyone go to trucking school. Outside of that, I would probably say no. And my reason for saying no, like I said, stems from my experience with trucking school. So my experience was that I signed up for a 4-week-long program. And you know what, before I jump into that, let's back up and say, let me tell you why I went to trucking school. I initially went to trucking school just because, my GI Bill paid for it, meaning that I didn't have to come out of pocket for it and I didn't owe anything back once I completed the course. So that's why I initially went to trucking school. But upon getting there, I prior to getting there, I thought, I had these high expectations for trucking school, and when I got there, my expectations fell tremendously, like way down. But 4-week-long program, it started off week one, we were in the classroom, basic classroom material. And actually I was only in the classroom for maybe 2 days. The third day, I think I had gone home already. But in the classroom, there wasn't even a real instructor present. We had a remote instructor who was there through Zoom, and he wasn't actually there teaching anything. I went in with the expectation to get my book. I was going to have an instructor present, and I was going to follow along in my book with the lectures from the instructor. Nothing like that. So like I said, the guy was remote. He was watching us on the screen, and he was just there basically to answer any questions that we may have and just to ensure that we were in the classroom studying our material. And so as far as week one goes, we weren't really even in the books. We had this online program, and this online program was tailored. We actually skipped around chapters. It was tailored to how they thought we should be studying in order to pass the CDL exam, the general knowledge and skills portion. So like it wasn't even chapters 1 through 24. It was more like you start at chapter 7, maybe go to chapter 23, and it was kind of just skipping around. So that was probably like my first complaint, and my number one reason for saying no is because you don't get the one-on-one experience that you think you should, or that you would think you would get. My number two reasons being that week 3, going into week 3 for me, because I didn't get into the actual truck until week 3. So I actually was supposed to get in the truck week 2, because I was supposed to take my test on my CDL permit test at the DMV on that Monday. But I wasn't comfortable, so I waited until like the Wednesday to go try, and then I actually failed it that Wednesday. And I went again that Thursday and took it and actually passed. So I didn't get it in the truck until like the 3rd week of the program. You know what? It was the 2nd week. It was the end of the 2nd week. So it was maybe actually that Friday that I was able to get into a truck and actually, practice some skills. And my first time in the truck, I didn't have an instructor present with me. An instructor didn't get in the truck with me. It was students in that truck teaching me how to put the truck in the gear and how to maneuver the truck around the yard. I didn't even have an instructor do that. My first experience with an instructor inside of the truck was, I think, me doing the offset parking, and I was missing my mark, so I had an instructor assist at that time. But other than that, I really didn't have an instructor assist me prior or in the beginning. So, and this was going into the 3rd week now, so I only had 4 weeks of training. And actually, prior to me taking my skills test, I probably drove out over the road maybe 3 to 4 times. So it wasn't a whole lot of, wasn't even a handful of times that I was able to get out on the road before I took my skills test. So again, I would say no for that reason, just because you don't get the type of training that I feel that you should. You don't learn how to safely operate that truck. They scream and preach safety, but you don't actually learn how to safely drive or maneuver that truck until you start with your first company, basically. And for that, like I said, you can't buy experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to be experienced, you have to get out there and do. And it's just not like it. You don't have a whole lot of time, when it comes to CDL school, because when it comes to time and stuff in that truck, you're in there with maybe 4+ students inside of one truck, and everyone has to take a turn. You have to practice all 3 backing skills, and everyone has to get a turn. And so, like I said, that first week you're in the classroom, that 2nd week they expect you to be out there in the truck. And then let's keep in mind that once you get out there in the truck, you're out there with students from other classes. So it's not just your class of 8, you're now out there with the other classes of 8, which turns into 24+ students, in a session trying to get in the truck. And then on top of that, you may have 8 trucks out on the yard, but only 4 work, or at least that's what my experience was. We only had 4 trucks that we could actually use around the yard, and maybe 2 to 3 that we can actually take out on the road, that were actually safe to operate over the road, on the freeways and stuff. So again, like, just, if you can find someone, a family member or friend, or someone that that's close to you, that you trust, that has, years of experience, that will mentor you, before you go out and actually take your skills test, your general knowledge test, and go out and actually apply for a company, then I would say do that versus going to school. Now, however, another benefit to going to school would be they have access to a lot of companies. They have company relationships, and they could probably get your foot in the door faster to a company that you may be more interested in, instead of going for the big name companies. So that may be another reason. So it's actually 3 reasons why I would say yes. And another reason I would say no would be just simply because, once you're done with the trucking school, a lot of them, they're recruiting. So, they're not gonna tell you, I feel like, about the good companies that are out there. A lot of them, they're gonna tell you, hey, you should go over the road first. It's gonna be hard to get local jobs, which I find that not to be true. You can't get a local job straight out of school at this point, because of the shortage that's going on with truckers. But yeah, that'd be another reason I would say no, because it's all recruiting. After you get all of these skills and stuff done, they're gonna try to put you with the company that's close to them, that they have strong partner relations with. So that'd be another reason I say no. But no, other than that, man, I hope you enjoyed this video. I try to give you some good sound advice, some good sound knowledge to make a good informed decision whether or not you want to pay the $3,000 to $6,000 for a 4-week long program versus having someone mentor you, train you up, and get you to where you need to be. So, like I said, share this video if you have anyone you feel may benefit by watching this video. Also, if you like this video, please thumbs up this video. Consider subscribing to my channel, help me out, so I can continue making this content and get seen by a wider audience. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, good luck to you out there. Hope you have much success in your trucking journey and stay safe. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.